Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Atari Agent B. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is doing okay today. Let's go ahead and give a brief introduction. We have our people on the mic today. We got Atari and Atari and Atari. No, but I'm just coming over a fever, so if I sound like Squidward, then my apologies. But that being said, how you doing, Harvado? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Bob9001, Super Saiyan Rainbow 2, RJ, what's up? Oni, how you doing? Shroflu, welcome. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today we are going to be engaging in the stream today, so I'm extremely excited about this to a degree. Looking forward to seeing ways we can move forward on this. All right. Let's see who's in the chat today. Oh, let's see here. What is going on? Let's see who's here today. Got the main camera. Let's activate that. The camera, deactivate that. Main camera. I'm hoping everyone is doing well. What's up, Stride? How you doing, my friend? Thank you, Super Saiyan Rainbow. Rhea Trap. What are those Neanderthals up to? Yeah, I can't even do my impressions as much as I usually would. But hey, man. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's see if the camera works right now. Choo. All right. Whoa, what the hell? What happened here? Okay, I don't like this. Hey, Fox. I don't like this. Okay, yeah, there's something going on right now with it, so just give me a moment. Yeah, right, yeah, there's something funky. All right, let's fix it. Come on. Get yourself pulled together. Oh, that's why, because the update. Ah. Hello, Amina Zabilan. Welcome. All right, there we go. Don't. All right. No problem, Andre. I won't. What's up, Rex Adventure? All right, so welcome everyone to the stream today. We're really going to be going into details about destructive capacity. Primarily, I want to go over destructive capacity because I think it's like a very I think it's very That's exactly what I think of destructive capacity. No, but I think destructive capacity is something that needs to be looked at closer, specifically because there are a lot of avenues of things that aren't really expressed. Yeah. That being said, of course, we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at them. Destructive capacity is something that's very important to understand. Again, it's just range. Attack potency is kind of blended in with this, but attack potency is nothing more but just the potency of your attack. Attack potency is a lot more in-depth in comparison. Like, hitting my fist on, this hard surface desk with a certain amount of newtons, see what I mean? Versus taking a sharp object and hitting it with the same newtons puts all the focus into one point. So obviously the amount of energy is increased in a specific surface area. So because of that, something like this won't hurt as much as this. This will hurt more because everything's concentrated. So attack potency needs to have its own little take, but attack potency is just as important. Destructive capacity is more of a realistic standpoint of what really is going to happen in most cases. But there are a lot of nuances to take into consideration when it comes to destructive capacity. Like, I mean, if I actually had the DC of, like, destructive capacity of Gon, my fist would go through this desk. The room won't blow up. The fist will just go right through the desk like it was butter, and pieces of debris will go flying. You know what I mean? Hey, the Dark Knight 47, welcome. Kobe Davis, welcome. Glad you guys were able to make it. Today's stream is going to be focused specifically on... Today's stream is specifically going to focus on destructive capacity. So, Rhea Trap says, Atari, you said that Super Anime Goku is stronger than Super Manga Goku. But is Super Manga Goku faster, considering the faster than an instant statement taking place later down the line? Hard to say, Rhea Trap Gaming. Because Goku in the anime verbatimly moved through Hit's time skip, whereas in the manga, it's hard to say if he actually did. So even then, I wouldn't say that. No worries, Andre. Thank you. But that being said, we're going to first go over into a couple of examples. I'm going to really lay the playing field. I hope everyone put your gears on, pay attention. This is going to be really important. Michael Braxton, welcome to the stream. Let's first start off with one of our basic examples. This video right here. Now, for those of you who don't know, this video is actually going to be a clip I'm going to play, and I'm going to go over a little bit of it afterwards, okay? So let's just go over the clip, kind of just show you an idea of destructive capacity, what it looks like in real life. Keep in mind, this is several meters under, about 150 meters underwater. Or at least it's over the horizon. Based on the field of vision we're getting, this is about 9 to 10 miles we can see in the horizon distance. Atmospheric refraction won't let you see too much further. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. Bomb 9001, yes, Goku did. He absolutely did. There's no denying that he did. Why would Goku moving in Hit's time skip consider a speed feat, but not a hacks resistant? Well, the reason why the Dark Knight 47, the reason why it's not considered a hacks resistant is because Goku is verbatimly moving. He says, where I'm at is way beyond your time skip. So Goku's using raw power to outspeed it. We also see later that Goku uses a Kamehameha to shatter the parallel world. And Jiren is literally punching Hit's time skip away and reacting to Hit immediately. All right, Michael Braxton, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by regardless. So, that being said, that's the reason why that happened. But yeah, here's an example of this feat. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this, exactly what happens. So pay attention. What you guys are going to want to pay attention is the speed in which everything is going on. Keep in mind, yep. Insane. Absolutely insane. Absolutely ridiculous. We're going to go over what this was in just a minute, but look at that. It's still super far in the horizon. Crazy. So the reason why I was showing you guys this in particular is because this is something that's very impressive when we start looking at it from a realistic perspective. Now, let's take a closer look at one of the more infamous and most commonly used versus Battle Wiki, and even I'm guilty for using it. A lot of what they do isn't necessarily bad, but it's starting to get to a point where some of it makes you question things. Really question things. So, what type of things are we questioning? Well, the things we're going to be questioning is exactly how Versus Battle does this. And particularly, what's up finally, some good quality content. Hey, Oni. Let's take a closer look. So as we see here, let's get a couple examples. So we actually have something by Alex Wellerstein, which is called Nuke Map. we're going to be using nuke map in order to show an idea, a rough estimate of what actual explosive yields look like on a map basis. I'm going to be going deep and deeper in and just giving you guys a rough estimate and an example. Not only am I going to be doing this through the stream, but I'm also going to be showing or utilizing a form of Google Maps to kind of show you a more realistic approach. Because what a lot of people tend to forget is people forget how impressive these feats actually are. So what happens is they get so complacent, right, that they end up forgetting that these are things that are beyond ridiculous. Right? So yeah, let's see here. Let's see. Not there. 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 So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a closer look. I know that zoom in. Oh, you're talking about me. Bro, I don't know why it got that close. I guess it's because of the update. But that being said, there are going to be a couple things we're going to take a closer look at. Let me see here. Give me a minute. I'm going to take a closer, more in-depth look. All right, let's continue. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a close look at exactly what these feats will look like on paper and generally get a better judgment and idea. So, particularly, let's go ahead and take a close look at what this actually looks like. And let's take a real life examination of it to kind of give people the better idea and approach. Again, I'm just kind of going over these things so people can really get to understand how this would actually look. Does Goku scale to 10th or 12th dimensional timeline? No, he doesn't. Well, yes, he does. But I wouldn't say the timeline is that many dimensions, but he does scale to it because of Infinite Zamasu. I need to mute this camera when I blow my nose. Anyway, outside of Atari being sick, let's go over the examples and talk a little bit about what we're talking about. Let's take a closer look, guys. So let's go over an example. Let's pull up here. So this is the actual New York map. This right here is Jersey Street, as you can see. So this is Jersey Street. Actually, you can see these are exact same shapes. See here? Same shapes. So, because Nukeback doesn't give you the actual satellite view. So if we jump down here and get like an actual idea and understanding. So like, this is just to kind of give people an idea. Like, look at how big these buildings are. And when you kind of look at these buildings in real life, you know, it's like, it's kind of ridiculous, right? This is like real, like, because this is real life. There's no fiction, no anime or whatever blah blah you want to throw at the camera. This is real life. This is how it actually looks. Rhea Trap, I did a video on that. If you want, you could check it out. Because that question is kind of difficult to answer right at this moment. But just bear with me a moment while I go over this. But like, if we kind of look at these, you know, these buildings, right? We're talking like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors. Average building. Versus Battle Wiki is a little ridiculous. Let me show you why. We're on the same street, right? Same house. This house right here. Let's take a look at Versus Battle Wiki. So for building level, they say you need, and I wouldn't say these are small buildings. I mean, realistically, I don't think these are classified as small buildings. I mean, if you think they're small buildings, then you got another thing coming for you. But clearly they're not. So they're basic building level. Now, buildings like these, would typically be considered building level. About 0.25 tons of TNT to 2 tons of TNT. There's a Big Daddy Longlegs just kind of looking at me. As long as you stay up there, you won't get bodied. Just stay up there, I won't body you. You come down here, I will literally DP you. Alright, anyway. Oh, Roz is ready. Roz is ready. So, pay attention, chat. So this is the exact reason we're going over this. If you look at the 25 tons of TNT, right, or 0.25, 2 tons of TNT is like the high end, like vaporization. But let's just go 0.25 tons. We're using nuke max, so even though not all of this is nuclear based, it's still giving us an idea. So the smallest U.S. bomb produced is a 20-ton Davy Crockett. This is 20 tons. Let's lessen that. All right. Not going to be 20. And that's 2 tons. That's 1 ton of TNT. And what we're going to do is we're going to do that. And then we're going to do 2.5. Because we're going to do 0.25. Yo, what's up, red hair? How you doing, man? Yo, red hair, Halo Jeff, welcome to the stream. You came in for the right time. So basically, here's what we're going to do. We're going to see how strong a 0.25 ton TNT bomb, a bomb that's not even a ton of TNT, 0.25. So for those of you who don't know how much that is, basically a 500 pounds of TNT. What is that going to do to like a building like this? Again, it's small building level, according to versus battle. Let's take a closer look. Detonate. Yeah, I don't know why this camera is that damn big. This camera needs a God dang it. All right, anyway. Like I said, just need to relax. This is... Okay, hold on. Let me fix this crap. Yeah. There we go. All right, hold on. Wait. Almost done. No. I know, right? Right here? That was the fakest laugh I've ever had in my life. No, but like, all seriousness. There we go. Much better. Hi. The green part is the radiation. We ignore that. Ignore the radiation. What you're going to focus on is you're going to... My chancla say you stop. Okay. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on... Don't focus on the green area. You see this part that's highlighted right here? That is the light blast. So it says at around 1 psi over pressure, glass windows can be expected to break. This can cause many injuries in the surrounding population who comes to a window after seeing the flash of a nuclear explosion, which travels faster than the pressure wave. Often used as a benchmark for light damage in cities. The next part is the thermal radiation. Third-degree burns extend throughout the layer of the skin and are often painless because it destroys the pain nerves. They cause severe scarring or disablement and can require amputation. 100% probability for third-degree burns at this yield. Next is the moderate blast. At 5 psi over pressure, most residential buildings collapse. Injuries are universal, fatalities are widespread. The chances of fire starting in commercial or residence are damage are high, and buildings so damaged are at high risk of fire spread, often used as a benchmark for moderate damage. So this part that's here, that's highlighting, that's the radius of what's going to be in moderate destruction. All the glass windows are going to break on these, but these are where fatalities and deaths start to occur. This is about half this block. So if we go back to our realistic map, right? I don't know who these people are, but anyway, this is Jersey Street right here, right? So if we look here, the rest of the street kind of ends right here. So that means we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. So So 5 buildings are getting leveled in the moderate zone. 5 buildings. Next up is the heavy blast. At 20 psi, overpressure, heavily built concrete buildings are severely damaged or demolished. Fatalities approach 100%, often used as a benchmark for heavy damage in the city. So if they're only talking about the heavy blast, then yes, that would be around building level, just about. But here's the problem. This is 0.25 tons of TNT versus battle claims on the lower end, small building. I'm sorry, on the lower end, building level is 0.25. So it shouldn't be vaporizing or pulverizing. It should just be, fragmentation. Yet we have confirmation that something like this is going to blow apart that much. The fireball next, max radius size of a nuclear fireball. Relevance to damage on the ground depends on the height of the detonation. If it touches the ground, the amount of radioactive fallout is significantly increased. Anything inside the fireball is effectively vaporized. So the fireball is vaporization. Roz, that's funny. One big area for building level. Can't Oni, exactly. So that gives you guys a little bit of a taste of how strong an actual building level blast is. That's just 0.25 tons of TNT. Versus Battle Wiki is kind of ridiculous for that statement. Now, what happens if we go to 2 tons of TNT for a supposed large building level? Let's try it out. So if we go here, I'm going to click here. This is point. All right, so this is point here. That's 20 tons. I just got to move the decimal place one time over. Now we're no longer in the tens place. We're in the singles. So that's 2 tons of TNT. What effectively will 2 tons of TNT do to this area around Lafayette Street in New York City? Well, let's see. If we go close, let's see exactly what this blast is going to be looking like. Yeah! Like I said, ignore the green blast, but the point is, windows within a multi-city block level are going to be completely shattered. The thermal radius now is much larger because it's covering the entire city block. So this orange thermal radius, sorry, even if we go to the heavy blast, which is on the higher end, is obliterating part of the city block. And the part here where the moderate damage takes place, that's low multi-city block. Because it's taking over Jersey Street and even Crosby Street next over, Mulberry Street next over. I mean, think about that for a moment. Oh yeah, Andre, let's change reaction. There's a scale to it. Chain reaction, man. First battle wins is a chain reaction. Ah, yes, I can actually feel the mucus leaving my body. Getting much better. Now, that being said, this is a really powerful blast for something that's only 2 tons of TNT. So I think versus Battle Wiki, what they're saying is, I get that it's an attack potency chart, but there needs to be some revision here. The reason why I say there needs to be revision is because these numbers do matter. In a comic book, when we have characters state they can do specific feats, it's going to play a big difference. Yeah. So, no, Omni. I just, Oni. Sorry, keep calling you Omni. Oni, I'm just lowering the mic so I don't blow in your ears. Go up there. Oh my goodness! Look at the daddy long legs right there, just chilling. He's just chilling, menacingly. Can you see him? That guy right there. We'll leave him alone. Anyway, bottom line is Bottom line is, when it does come to these actual scaling, it does play a big difference. Now, now I'm going to show you guys a couple more things. So, yeah, let's go over a couple other things. Now, let's take a closer look at city block level. 11 to 100 tons of TNT. Now, this is just ridiculous. So let's go to the crude nuclear terrorist weapon, which is 100 tons of TNT. Let's do a surface level detonation instead of an airburst. And let's see exactly where it gets us. Okay? Now, obviously here, we don't need to be in this part of the map anymore. We could turn it into satellite mode. But as you can see here, majority of these buildings are being wiped out. Now let's take a closer look at what 100 tons of TNT does. Tari, it's sad. Versus Battle Wiki is not really reliable. Absolutely, David Super. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to kind of show you guys. So 100 tons of TNT. Here's what it looks like. Oh boy. So as I said, the green part usually ignore, but look at the light radius. It's highlighting right here, all around this area. So all around that area is highlighting. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Because that's how many windows are going to be blasted. Glass windows, that's how many windows are going to be blasted. People are going to be blown over. And that's just 100 tons of TNT. That's ridiculous. Now, a lot of people, the reason I bring this up is because when you look at this in real life, this is scary. Because people get so complacent on fiction, they don't really realize how powerful this is. Rhea Trap, they are wrong about their definition nowadays. Exactly, Bob 9001. Here's the thing. Let's look at the moderate blast. The moderate blast, where people are expected to die or something, that's literally, because fatalities are widespread, that's literally multi-city block level. And I get it's on the high end, but even if we go to the fireball, or the fireball where everything is vaporized, vaporization, the fireball vaporizes 2 city blocks, or 2 portions of a city block. And the heavy blast radius, where concrete buildings are going to be completely shot, that's covering like 5, 6 city blocks. And these city blocks are small. You want proof? Let's take a look. So this whole area, as you see my mouse hovering, boom, taken out, taken out, taken out, taken out. All of this caught in the heavy blast. Then this much is going to be caught with the window shattering. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Versus bias wiki never made sense. They pick and choose what is acceptable and not. I knew they downplayed several series like One Piece. Of course. Now you guys saw that. Let's take a closer look at 300 kilotons. Let's take a look at 300 tons of TNT. 300 tons of TNT. According to Versus Battle Wiki, you need... This is funny. To be town level, you need to have... Small town level, you need to have 1 kiloton of TNT. 1 kiloton of TNT. Multi-city block level. Let's just see what 300 TNTs do. 300 tons of TNT. Ready? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Besides the radiation zone, the light blast radius is literally hitting near the damn ocean. I mean, one of the damn rivers. And the fireball is literally taking out more than 1 city blocks. Heavy blast radius, the moderate damage, and the thermal degree. And again, each bomb is different. But it's the fact that this type of arsenal can just do so much damage. And it's like, I get they say it's like town, small town, but that's not much. People underestimate the amount of power to vaporize a city block. They really do. So when you look at this, chat, how many of you guys have you guys seen how much damage half a kiloton does in real life? If you have, I could show you guys. Put a fire in the chat if you want to see it. Put a fire in the chat if you want to see how much damage half a kiloton does. Hey, what's up, King Zondo? All good. You're here now. That's all that matters. Welcome. Let's see here. That's a fire. That's a fire. That's a fire. That's a fire. All right. You guys are down? I'll show you. Let's show you the real life example. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Put your volumes up. We're going to kind of go over it. Rest in peace to those who did pass away in the actual causing of the Beirut explosion, but we are going to look at that. Beirut explosion, this is for educational purposes. I should change the category here because my category is on entertainment. So let's change it to education. There we go. So here's an example of what half a kiloton can actually do. This is just half a kiloton. Trust me, half a kiloton is way stronger than Versus Battle thinks it is. Check this out.
Just after 6 p.m. local time on Tuesday the 4th of August, an explosion ripped through Beirut's port. People in Lebanon's capital.
Bro, I'm not even trying to make a joke out of this, but that looks like something out of like something Pain would do, like Almighty Push. That's kind of scary.
Had earlier spotted a large fire at the port, billowing dark smoke into the air. There were reports that a warehouse containing fireworks had caught fire. And several videos of the scene showed colored flashes in the flames. Videos from the scene suggest there was one smaller explosion. And then roughly 30 seconds later, this enormous shock. The blast struck with a force.
Notice that it literally shook. It literally cleared the sky of its clouds.
Of a 3.5 magnitude earthquake. This was
caused a 3.5 magnitude earthquake.
The aftermath. Windows shattered in buildings across the city and damaged cars on the roads near the port. This is where the explosion happened. 4 kilometers away, in the St. Mar Meroun church, a priest and his congregation were taking part in mass.
4 kilometers away. 4 kilometers away. Think about that.
The explosion was caught on camera 11 kilometers away in the Dabia Marina.
11 kilometers away, the explosion was still visible.
The blast was so big that it was heard from the mountains. This video from the town of Brumana, 15 kilometers away.
15 kilometers away. And they're like, Versus Battle.
It's this multi-city block level.
Shows how far the shockwave reached. It was even heard and felt as far away as Cyprus, more than 125 miles across the Mediterranean.
Yes, it was felt in Cyprus, and there's actually a video where the people in Cyprus can actually hear a explosion out of nowhere. Yes, it was heard 125 miles away. So that is an example of what 5 kilotons of TNT. It's damaged 77,000 apartments. I mean, people have no idea how much damage was done. Now, respect that it's considered small town level. So that is a little bit accurate, but at the same time, it just goes to show that the way it's portrayed, it's a lot more devastating than people actually think it is. It also depends on the explosion. Most of the explosion went in the air. That's another factor. All right, Oni, you take care. So let's take a closer look one more time at large town level. 100 kilotons of TNT. Well, let's see what 100 kilotons of TNT does. Because we didn't even look at a kiloton. So we were here, and we looked at 100 kilotons of TNT for some reason, which would be bursted in the air because they wouldn't want to release it on the ground, but we'll do surface destruction. Hey Nagpar, how are you? Yeah, I kind of am ripping them a new one right now. So if we were to take a look at what 100 kilotons of TNT actually does, here's an example. Yeah, large town level, huh? Large town level? That's more like small city level. That's more like small city level. More clearly like small city level. Yeah, Donaz, it actually is. It's a micro nuke. But that's Versus Battle Wiki says this is what they say, that's town level. 100 tons of TNT is the high ends of town level. And the lower end, and this is 100 tons of TNT, is the lower end of large town level. So let me give you guys a visual in real life. All of this, bottom half of New York, all the way up to around Central Park, which is right up here, basically Empire State and all that, getting taken out. Versus Battle calcs flawed, but they somehow change their tier requirements every day, but never correct their own calcs. Crazy. Oh yeah. Necrolope Fire, you probably missed it, but you see this? This is half a kiloton of TNT is considered multi-city block level. But over here, we just watched a video. This guy's all the way in the mountains, like 15 kilometers away, which is about 8 miles, I believe.
The town of Brumana, 15 kilometers away,
Listen.
shows how far the shockwave reached.
It's still breaking windows. Ridiculous. And it's just half a kiloton. This is 200 times stronger. And that is doing all this damage. All this. So, agreed, King Zondo. Agreed. At this point, they really are. Next. Town level. No. So, who in the chat wants to see what a megaton of TNT does? 1 megaton. Or do you guys want to see half a megaton? It's up to you guys, whichever you want to see. I'm saying, man. Half a kiloton? Let's see what a half a kiloton does first. So roughly about half a kiloton of TNT. We have the Ivy King. Let's test it out. Half a kiloton of TNT. Sorry, half a megaton of TNT. So again, this is still supposedly town level, large town level. Bruh. It literally took out all of East Harlem, Manhattan. It took out Queens, New York, Ridgebrook, Bushwick, which Bushwick and Ridgewood and Sunnyside and Long Island City are all literal towns. Queensbridge, took out Queensbridge, Lincoln Harbor, the Jersey Underground Bridge, the Williamsburg Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, all at once. How is that large town level only? That's clearly city categories. Yeah. Yeah. That whole area. We're going into the state of New Jersey. In Jersey City. It's ridiculous. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Statue of Liberty is all the way right here, right? It got taken out. Statue of Liberty is right here. Got taken out. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Oh. What we're going to do next is we're going to catch. Welcome here, Brandon Jackson. This topic is awesome as thank you, Brendan Jackson. Maybe they just consider the moderate blast only. But here's the thing. Look at the moderate blast again. The moderate blast is, and the thermal blast has to count too, because that could set other buildings on fire and cause widespread fires. Because remember, there's a 100% probability for third-degree burns at this yield, and they cause other buildings to go on fire. But that's thermal radiation. Even outside of that, besides setting up the majority of these areas on fire and blowing these buildings to smithereens, because a lot of buildings, you have to factor in the Dark Knight 47. They have, remember, underground, they have boilers. So think about how many buildings boilers are going to be caught on fire. You can say, oh, chain reaction all you want, but like that's still a factor of the explosion. And most fictions take place in modern day, so that's a factor. But even if we don't use that, just a moderate blast takes a chunk off of this main part of New York. So even with a moderate blast, which I'll highlight here, it's still reaching over to Jersey City. So that's still huge. No, King Zando. It depends on how the TNT is exploded, where it's exploded at. For example, this is a surface burst. If I do an air burst, look at the difference. The moderate blast rate significantly increase when I do it in the air. Look at that gap. So again, this is surface. See Randall's and Warts Island right here? So pay attention to my mouse, Randall's and Warts Island here. Now watch when I do air burst. Boom. Island got eaten like nothing. Yeah. So it depends on how the explosion is. So to answer Dark Knight 47's question, Versus Battle Wiki is wrong either way, because what if the character attacks and blows it up in the air? It still should categorize under this, you know? Hey, what's up, Vegeta Scales? Welcome. Yeah. It's going, I mean, people in Newark City are going to have their windows blown apart. And that's literally a city. It's bypassing Jersey City. Everyone in that, even if it's a light blast, everyone's still getting their windows. Boom! A punch from 80% Toguro. So again, that goes into attack potency, which is different. But like I said before, Toguro's punch is not focused on like causing widespread destruction, because it's in the form of a punch. So his is more attack potency based. Yusuke Spirit Gun, though, would do more damage than this in the Dark Tournament. It's crazy to believe, but it would. It really would. If he had the AoE. And this is just crazy. And you're right, Brendan Jackson. So, like, the fireball, everything here is just vaporized. So this is going to be a big crater. But, like, yeah, that'd be, like, a normal punch from Saitama. But, like, let's look at this. Let's look at 1 ton of megaton. 1 megaton. Here we go. Drum roll. 1 megaton of TNT. Golly. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It took out Flushing, Queens, Jamaica, New York, John F. Kennedy Airport. Oh my goodness. Staten Island is taken part of. Elizabeth, Jersey, Newark, Jersey, Jersey City, New York, Manhattan, the Bronx, Fort Lee, Ridge Park. Gosh. It's airburst, yeah. Surface, so on the surface, it still reaches pretty dang far, though. The range just keeps expanding massively. Yeah, but most nukes would never be released. Just to clarify for the Dark Knight 47, most nukes would never be released on the ground. They would be released air. At this yield, they wouldn't release. The pilot wouldn't want to release it on the ground because that's not how they would release it. Especially if they're trying to reduce radioactive fallout, which we're going to talk about radioactive fallout in just a minute. But the amount of energy, because remember, most of the nuke blast goes straight to the air. Whereas when it's in the air, it expands out and blows. It's like, when it's in the air, it expands like, so let's just say this is the surface. When it's blown on the surface, boom, it's blowing out and it's spreading, and then most of the nuke goes in the air in a mushroom cloud. When it's blown up in the air, it's still going to rise up with the atmosphere, but it's going to be like more like widespread because it's going to cover the bottom, the top, the side, 360, just a big ball of, you know. So that is a bit of a difference because depending on how you do the attack, it's going to play a big picture on how much damage. That's why when like you can't really create a linear scale for damage. Let me ask you guys this: if I have enough power to like, let's just say this, like I said earlier, attack potency, me doing this. Versus, now imagine if I do this to you guys be like, that kind of hurts, not too much. Now imagine I take this, same level of stabbing. That piercing, it's all focused on one area. Same amount of force, just pinpointed to one area. And as that area has a surface tension to handle that amount of force, you're going to pierce through. Because it's almost, not saying you are, it's almost as if you're multiplying. It's almost like a multiplier when you quite literally is like a multiplier when you put all the focus in one point. Because, for example, when my hand is like this, when I'm spreading here, right, it's different for if I were to put this down and then do the same thing. This is going to put a hole in my desk. So, depending on how the explosion happens is a big factor. So, you can never really factor in someone's real durability depending on what it's like. That's like Mike Tyson. That's why if you gave even if you gave a 5-year-old kid this, they'll still cut through Mike Tyson with this. Because all the pressure is focused on one point. And the finer the pressure, the more force, or the more piercing force. So it goes into a lot of different variables. But let's go into... so to give you guys a little bit more understanding on the insanity of it. Who's ready to see the Tsar Bomba? The Tsar Bomb. Jeez, that one. That one's crazy. All right, so we're gonna show the Tsar Bomba, but after these messages. All right, so on a serious note, if we take the Tsar Bomba, right? Oh boy. All right, so for those of you who are ready, we're going to actually see what the Tsar Bomb actually would look like. And we're going to go back here. Remember, according to Versus Battle Wiki, a city is city level is between 6.3 megatons to 100 megatons of TNT. So, yeah. That's crazy. That's only city level. So watch when we see the Tsar Bomb. Let's see it. 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 You guys ready? Let's. Sigma face. Anyway. If this is all city level stuff we are seeing right now, I can only imagine how much mountain level is going to take up. You can't even go that far. But we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. Let's go ahead and do it. So this is what 50 megatons of TNT looks like. Yeah, it's an exponential increase. And yeah, it is airburst because you're not going to release something like this on the surface. You almost never would. And it's irrelevant on how it's released anyway, but yeah. Yeah. But there you have it. That's 1, 2, 3, because Yonkers is a city, Stamford is a city, Huntington is a city, Long Beach is clearly its own thing. Newark, Elizabeth, New Brunswick, Long Branch, and Patterson. Yep. And the closer we zoom in, oh, but only the moderate. Okay. Even if you said only the moderate, that's still like 3 cities. So, and you look at all these little tiny squares, all of those are city blocks. All of them. More than a couple thousand. Yeah. That's what I'd be telling people. They'd be acting like the Tsar Bomba is weak. No, check this out. How many times did the Tsar Bomb circle the Earth? Say it! Say it, Google. How many times did the Tsar Bomb circle the Earth?
According to Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, the seismic shockwave circled the globe 3 times, shattering glass windows in buildings more than 400 miles away.
That's what I've been telling you guys. That 3 times the shockwave circled the Earth. 400 miles away, windows were broken. For those who are unaware, from this distance, this is about 100 kilometers. But realistically, according to actual sources, because this is just an estimated map made by Alexander Wellerstein. East Stradbroke would have their windows shattered. Trenton, Lakewood, Toms River will all have their windows shattered. Philadelphia would feel it. Their buildings would be fractured and their windows would be shattered. So realistically, yeah. Now, even if it was surface level, there's barely a difference. The only difference is Stamford and Darien here, and then on the surface level, it's the exact same, except for the thermal. Oh, Nagpar, you're shocked. Well, wait until you see the radioactive fallout. How much radiation and debris how much debris got sucked into the sky? Because remember, Tsar Bomba blew up and reached 200,000 meters. So it literally pierced the stratosphere. For example, did the Tsar Bomba pierce the stratosphere? At 40 miles high, it penetrated the stratosphere. By the National World War II Museum. It's considered to have reached extremely high. Yeah. Yep. All right. So, that being said, that goes to show you the ridiculousness. 50 to 58 megatons of TNT is still kind of ridiculous for the actual Tsar bomb. And that's just a rough estimate. The actual bomb had about 58 megatons of TNT, which is more something like this, realistically. And since it would be an airburst, it'd be more like that. Now, that being said, yeah, like I said, most of the energy went up there, as well as the dirt and debris. But here's another factor. Let's look at the radioactive fallout. This is what radioactive fallout looks like. So you see this yellow area? This is fallout. For a detonation of this yield, this radiation level, 1,000 rads per hour, is too high for fallout. And so this contour is not mapped. The maximum radiation contour for cloud fallout can be mapped at this yield at 686 rads per hour. For stem fallout, it is 52.8 rads. This right here is at 100 rads. So let's take a closer look at it. How much radioactive fallout actually happened? So, let's see. So that part of New York is Gipsy Dipsy. That part, all right. So then Connecticut, Rhode Island got mopped. Massachusetts got mopped. New Hampshire got mopped. It reaches into Portland, Maine, and took out part of, goes into Maine, and then goes all the way to Canada and New Brunswick. Just 50 megatons of TNT. That's 50 megatons of TNT. Still think it's city level? It's only city. It's only city level. It's only city level. Ridiculous. And there was another variant of the Tsar Bomba that had 100 megatons of TNT. Versus Battle Wiki says 100 megatons of TNT is the high end of city level. Well, let's take a look at 100 megatons of TNT. And you know what? We're going to make this even better. What is the biggest city in the world metropolitan area? Metropolitan area, okay. Tokyo is the world's largest city by urban area and metropolitan area. Okay, Tokyo it is. To kind of get an idea of what we're talking about, in order to see this like on a more clear basis, we're gonna go to Tokyo. So let's go to Tokyo. Travel all the way across the globe, 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 more across the globe, more across the globe. Ah, there we are. Tokyo. Near the city of Saitama, in Matsudo, in Soka, in Nagaraima, Nise, Nitsa, Fuchu, Chofu, Kawasaki, Yokohama, Yokosuka, Kamakura, Ichihara, Omishirasato. Ah, Omishirasato. Hiroshima-sato, okay. Yachisan, Sakura, Narita, Inzai, Tsukuba. Basically, all of these. So, the biggest city in the world versus 100 megatons. Let's see who's more accurate. Versus Battle Wiki or an actual scientist who studied in nuclear. Well, yeah, sorry to say, looks like Tokyo is absolutely kaput. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No. So with that being said, that concludes everything I need to say about destructive capacity. Clearly not the most reliable source. And also, if you look at Yamafuji, Mount Fuji can actually be destroyed with the Tsar Bomba if you detonate it in a certain angle. Harvado actually found a video where they destroy part of a mountain with just 20 tons of TNT. The cap needs to be stopped. That being said, though, guys, anyway, the bottom line is that's how powerful that level of power can be. Even if it was surface level, wouldn't really matter. Obviously, radioactive fallout is not a factor in this equation, but it's always nice to kind of consider it. Considering the fact that if done in a certain way, why is it reaching into China? That's really far. That's really far. If it reaches into China and parts of Russia, yeah, really crazy. Reaches past Hokkaido, covers the entire Hokkaido. And it's not even ranked mountain level. That's the thing that kind of annoys me about it. But there you have it. Anyway, guys, that is destructive capacity for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this small... Oh, then it must be Russia. Or Mongolia, because it's one of them. Sakhalinsk. Oh, no, yeah, that's not China. No, that's not China. That's Russia. That is Russia. That is Russia. I see it here. Yeah, that's Russia. So yeah, it reaches into Russia. Crazy. But like overall though, Saitama versus Raditz. I don't know, Roz. But to kind of end the conversation in that, Raditz is, of course, red hair. I mean, Qinzhou split an ice continent. You want an idea about how big the ice continent is? Let me show you something. Check this out. Let's clear the effects. Even if we detonate it and we remove the radioactive fallout, I want you to see, like, this blast is absolutely ridiculously huge. But just because it's huge, don't mean we should be underestimating ice continents. This is Antarctica. Even though it's a bit inflated, if you wrap it around, it works really well. The fact is, because Antarctica takes out about this much portion, in reality it's about slightly bigger than Australia. So if we use Australia as a standpoint, that's how much damage it's doing. Qinzhou is way, 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 way beyond that. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you came by. Saitama versus Raditz is a silly debate. Saitama wins on every level. Raditz can't do a single thing to stop Saitama. And also, I, for the record, don't believe Raditz is a solid planet buster. He is a planet buster in a way of, he can fragmentate Earth, right? Because he could blow up the moon like it's nothing. He's 3 times stronger than Piccolo. Now, I also don't believe Frieza calling Earth a small, King Cole calling Earth a small planet is indicative to it actually being a small planet. Like, just because you think Earth is a small planet is not going to change the yield that we would generally go for. What is this? Kilofall? Exafall? Okay, that's kind of silly. Anyway. Anyway, when we get to, like, the planet levels, the Zetatons and Yotatons are a little inflated. But similarly, because a planet is so much more massively larger, it's accurate. Well, Hiroshima was literally a city. And that was a little boy bomb. That was only 9 kilotons of TNT or something like that. Actually, it even tells you. Yeah, 15 kilotons of TNT. And took out the entire city of Hiroshima. Yeah. The only thing you can use is like the Supreme Kai when he said in years he destroyed hundreds of planets and stars. And then Vegeta said that's nothing. Even we Saiyans can do that. If you use the Supreme Kai statement, you could get Raditz to star level. But I don't think that's consistent story-wise. Because when you look at what Frieza did with his blast to blow up Planet Vegeta, it's very clear that Planet Vegeta is 10 times more bigger than your Earth. And you got to think about it. King Cole and Frieza has been all over the galaxy. So to them, planet Earth is a small planet. They've probably been to planets as big as Jupiter and stuff. Now, do I believe that a 10,000 times power level is the basis for planet level? I believe that's like, in Dragon Ball standards, I believe it's what they need for vaporization. But it still can categorize as multi-planetary. Mainly because King Vegeta, multi-planet bust. This is a very, very infamous image here, and everyone knows this image. I mean, if you don't, then, I mean, come on. Everyone knows this is a very... Let me see if I can pull up a GIF. Yeah, so check that out. But then again, a power level, King Vegeta was slightly around 10,000 or so. So, I mean, again, it's kind of questionable. I personally think Raditz is small planetary, but I think small planetary is like he could blow up like Mercury, Pluto. He could blow up a portion of the Earth, no difficulty. But I don't think he's like someone who's just going to like, ha! And the Earth is dead. The Earth is a lot bigger than people give it credit for, and I also don't think he's designed to be that strong. And also, Saitama is really like, you know, Saitama just has a little bit more feats and advantages than Raditz, I would say. But if you're talking about, yeah, I mean, if you're using Ozaru Raditz, then GG's. Saitama's dead. Because Ozaru Raditz should be like 12,000 or 14,000, which is multi-planet busting categories. I mean, Saitama might not be dead, though. He still might be able to fight. Because the thing is, Saitama wasn't trying against Garo, even though he can destroy Jupiter, arguably. Raditz is way above moon level. Yeah, Legendary Manga does say 10,000 is needed. But it's also the same book that said Roshi was star level, so... gotta be careful. Yeah, but Ozaru is slow, so Saitama's gonna win. And no, Saitama's not even close to galaxy level. He's... No, not even close. Not even close. But the fact that Frieza just Shoryuken's King Vegeta is a big statement within itself.
Hello, monkeys.
And the fact that Frieza can just blow up Planet Vegeta like this. I don't think people realize how strong you have to be to blow up a planet like that. A lot of fans get Saitama. I mean, a lot of fans don't know how to scale. Anyone who says Saitama is not even solar system level. There's no evidence to prove he is. He's dwarf star level at best with every punch, and probably a serious, and that's a serious punch. So dwarf star level for a serious. Now, if we're gonna use a very basic notion on his actual yield and punching force, then probably would be like small star level at best with a serious punch. No, red hair. Hello, no. Hello, Jeff. He never did that. All he did was create, like, here's what people don't realize. Look. Saitama versus Garu. Like, all that happened. And people keep I did a stream on this. People keep misunderstanding this. Ask yourself, narratively, Murata and 1 are very consistent narratively. Genryoshope was literally not black hole level. They even claimed, nah, he actually wasn't. He was just bragging. Murata corrected that immediately. In an interview, said straight up, nah, he's not actually black hole level. Saitama and Garu. Let's see here. Let's put here, hole in space. It says what happened to those two, they were where they knocked away with that kind of energy, who knows how far they could have flown from the recoil. This was a blast actually got them away because they were going to blow up the Earth with their E=2 punch. So they were going to blow up the Earth with that punch. They were going to one-shot it. And it was right here, specifically in this scene. They were going to one-shot the Earth. Now, that being said, they got knocked away with that energy, and Blast needed the power of Boros and many others to shoot them away. That hole was left more so as a representation of how much force they put in, but it's not actually galaxies being blown in the distance. That's just a whole representation of, that's a wormhole of sorts. That's why if you look in the next scan, when you see them going flying, before they reach the planet or the moon Io, they was like, I'm surprised, where are we? How far could we have gone? Now, most people think, oh, they had to go galaxies. I'm like, no. How far is Jupiter from Earth in miles?
According to Wikipedia, Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun and the largest in the solar system.
So 532 million miles they traveled in like seconds. So speed feet, that's insane. But that's still considered far away. Look at the narrative. It says, who knows how far they could have flown. Jupiter is really far away in the narrative. People think, oh, who knows how far they could have flown. Maybe he was flying into another galaxy like Omni-Man. I'm like, no, they're not Omni-Man. Like, Omni-Man, Superman, Gas from Dragon Ball Super, those characters are flying real far away. But just because the story says who knows how far they could have went, that doesn't mean we gotta assume they went to other solar systems. No, the narrative shows us they were tussling and they crashed into the planet Io. Next scan. We have no reason or any evidence to suggest that they destroyed a galaxy, blew up a star, or did any of the sort when they're landing on the next planet. Next, why would Garu be afraid of someone who could sneeze away Jupiter if he could blow up galaxies? Think about that. You could blow up entire galaxies, but you're afraid of someone who could blow up Jupiter? Oh, maybe it's just inconsistent like Dragon Ball, like when GT Goku in the Funimation said, "Oh wow, Omega Shenron blew up an entire city." Like, no, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. One Punch Man is very consistent narrative-wise. Galaxies were not destroyed. Wait, are you saying they weren't teleported to the planet Io? Stars aren't elliptical shape. There are galaxies in the background of that far-off image. Actually, no, there's not. There's no galaxies to be found. There was only galaxies portrayed in an image of in an image of Garu, because what they were trying to do is give an artistic flair. Artistic flair is similar to when you add extra backgrounds, so you can make a character look a lot more stronger than they actually are. That's why you'll have some characters have entire galaxies in the background of them, but they're not actually galaxy level. All right, let's see here. In fact, if we actually look at the One Punch Man chapter, check it out. What chapter did Saitama fight Garu?
According to Sportskeeda,
168.
One Punch Man chapter 168, Garo versus Saitama fight concludes. Garo asks Saitama for a favor.
We'll look at it right now.
Time travels.
I've done this so many times. I told people Saitama can be hurt. Saitama is not a gag character. And Saitama is nowhere near galaxy level. Naruto, and yes, I will say this. Let's get a close-up. Naruto and Ichigo are still beating Saitama. That's just it. It is how it is. I like Saitama, don't get me wrong, but he's got more stuff to show before he can prove that he's at that level. Luffy versus Saitama a little bit more. Luffy's faster, way faster. So yeah, Luffy can possibly beat him with advanced hockey if he can bypass Saitama's durability. But I don't know if he'll take him down. Luffy has way better stamina, I suppose, too. But I can't confirm that 100%. But what I can confirm is I can definitely confirm that if we look at the One Punch Man free chapters, we can find out a bit of information. Naruto Ichigo slammed Saitama to be on. Of course, don't ask. Thank you. I think he might have been shocked because not only was Saitama still alive, but he then did that feat with a sneeze. It was painting the picture. Here's the thing, Kevin Cubes. You gotta recognize power difference. See, Roz will tell you. I'll tell you. Do you know the gap between a galaxy and a planet? Do you know the gap between a galaxy and a planet? That's not even comparable. I've done this before on my stream. I said if this was Earth, right? The moon would be at least, 10 of these away? So it would be off camera, all the way to the background around that doorknob, if this was Earth. A galaxy? Let me give you an idea. Let's actually look this up. Let's just look up nebula size comparison. Let's just do it. Let's look up a nebula. How big is a nebula? Not even a galaxy. Actually, no, let's do this. How big is a nebula to solar system? Actually, let's just do how big is universe. I don't really like doing this. All right, actually, let's see here. Nebula size. There used to be a video that compared the nebula to the solar system. I don't know where YouTube took it at. Da 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 da. This video might work. All right, so that's Pluto. This is actually really accurate. I don't think Luffy is above Naruto in terms of like hacks. Or but he's definitely above Naruto in how casual he is. But Naruto beats Saitama because true seeking orbs and many other factors. Alright, so we're seeing this. Alright, let's speed this up. DDD. So obviously, credits to Studio Arcana for making this video. But this is just to kind of show you. That is Jupiter compared to the sun. That's dwarf star. Well, a small star to be realistic, but still. That's Sirius. Elnath. Is that Beltigois or Antares? Arcturus. Look it! You can't even see it no more! That's Aldura. We're not done. That might be VXY Canis Majoris. No, Antares. That's Antares. And next is Betelgeuse. Or VY Canis Majoris. Hypergiant. UY Scuddy. Supermassive black hole. Supermassive pole or quasar. That's a nebula. That's a nebula. That is a nebula. Now, let's go back. You see this? Alright, you see Jupiter? It's like, oh, he sneezed Jupiter away! Yeah, let's go! 140 kilometers in diameter, let's go! And then you look at this. Oh, the sun is 100 times bigger. Wait, Arcturus is 1,000 times bigger. Or more. 10,000 times bigger. Antares is 100,000 times bigger. VXY Canis Majoris, 1,000,000 or 10 million times bigger than Jupiter. Actually, VXY Canis Majoris is 10 million times bigger than our sun, actually. Then you look at the supermassive black hole, and you realize, wait, so you're telling me this thing is like almost a billion times? What? And then you look at this. Then you look at a nebula. You see how big these are. Look at these. These are black holes. This is what Roz was trying to tell you guys. That's the eye of God. 1.9 light years in size. Or 2.6 light years in size. That's the head horse. That's a nebula. That's the Eagle Nebula. And that is a small dwarf galaxy, 220 light years. That's the Tarantula Nebula. 1,000 light years. Sleeping Beauty, a normal galaxy, 120 light years, Milky Way. Or 100,000 light years, yep. Milky Way. Like... And that's a hypergalaxy. 6 million light years. And that's not even... And they didn't even bring up Hercules. I don't know if they're going to bring up Hercules. And then they just go further. This video is a very short version of that. But if you were to do something like... watch this. Solar system compared to a nebula.
According...
On average, nebula are larger than the solar system, but the possibility of blah, 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 blah. So, like, for those who don't really realize, like, the actual difference between the solar system and nebula is more than a couple 100,000. So, that's a nebula. That's not even a galaxy. So, if you really think Saitama is producing more than 10 quintillion times more power, I don't know about that. That's ridiculous. There ain't no way black hole's that huge. That is legit. Yeah, there are. Nagapar, there are that big. Oh, absolutely, Roz. I had to do this because I had to show people, like, Saitama is nowhere near. Like, alright, so you're telling me Garu. If Garu could destroy and equalize Saitama with punches to destroy a galaxy, Garu should be like, yo, zip, let me take a piss. And then he could destroy an entire 50,000 solar systems by taking a piss. Like, that's just the difference in power. The power, like, if I could destroy a galaxy, let me give you an example. Let's say I could destroy, to give you an example of a galaxy, that's like if I could destroy the entire country of, this is a random example. If I could destroy the entire Antarctica, like a entire continent, like Australia or something. If I could destroy a continent, Australia. If Australia was a galaxy, this singular penny would be Jupiter. Do you know how many pennies I can fit in this room? Or, I don't know if it would be Jupiter, because it's Australia, but Jupiter would be the size of a basketball. That's how big a galaxy is in comparison. So, no. Not even close. It's like, because if Garu's going to be like, oh, he sneezed away a planet. I'm like, Garu, you just blew up a galaxy, bro. You can literally blink your eyes and then 10 solar systems blow up on accident. Like, the gap between a galaxy to a planet is literally bigger. Like, there are 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe. Or 100 trillion or whatever. The gap between galaxy and the universe is like 1,000 times smaller than the gap between a planet and a galaxy. Listen again. The gap between a universe to a galaxy, like if I compare a galaxy to the universe, to observable universe, if I compare a galaxy to the observable universe, the gap between the observable universe and the Milky Way galaxy is literally 1,000 times less than the gap between Jupiter and the Milky Way. Saitama would literally have to produce a quadrillions of times more strength and power. No, hold on. Quintillions of times more strength and power, or in the 100 quadrillions of times strength and power, to actually produce enough power to destroy a galaxy normal size like the Milky Way. Unless you argue it's dwarf galaxy size, a dwarf galaxy wouldn't be visible from that distance in the background. So we can't even use that argument. So, the point is, Saitama is still going to fold a lot of characters in fiction. But he still needs more evidence before he's at that Naruto, One Piece top tier. He needs a little bit more stuff going for him. If we look at the actual chapter, there's got to be a chapter. I saw it for free. Oh, here it is. The free chapters. If we look at the actual chapter, right? 160, right? I think it was here. I think it's chapter 165. Yeah. Because then people will take turn. He's so strong, infinitely strong. Infinitely copy him. Oh, infinite! Oh, infinite! Oh! Take a look at this actual feat. The energy is too great. The gate. I can't get enough distance. I have to at least find a way to deflect the destructive energy away from the Earth. So what is Garu doing here? He's deflecting the energy from the Earth. So I guess Earth can't be underestimated. That's not him talking. That is Boros, the spirit of him. I'm surprised there's another hero besides you who could take on an awakened divinity of that scale. But who is it? You guys. They come in, you owe us one. They shine their light, because while Saitama and them do a serious punch, they both do a serious punch times 2. Blast gets them out into the space where their attack does so much energy. Could have blew up the earth. Because he even said it himself, right? So check this out. After they do that, the attack gets dispersed. You see it here? It's disappearing. So check it out. It's disappearing, getting eaten up. You see the back of the moon from when Saitama and them, from the last interaction. And then you see this right here. The blast effect. Then boom. What happened to those two? Did they get blown away? The repercussion from that energy. I have no idea how far they went. The next panel. 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 Anyway. The next panel, they literally fly onto the moon Io. Garou gets up, dusting himself off from a big crash, looks around, sees Saitama torn up a bit, looks into the distance. Saitama's standing in a silhouette over the planet Jupiter's main storm eye. And look at that. Saitama is ridiculously strong. Don't get me wrong. But he definitely ain't no... you know what I mean? That's not a galaxy. They literally go... How can you ignore the clear boots void by the earth? Wait, what? But yeah, you're right, Roz. Saitama's been miscalculated for years. You clearly see the blast they did, because the blast they did shot them into space. They landed on Jupiter going at that speed together. And this is what we see. Saitama does a serious table flip. And then right here, their fight in their battle is really huge. You can see the shockwave from the moon. And then you see the killer serious table flip. So Saitama is going all out. He's enraged too. Omnidirectional serious punch. Garou gets punched. And their battle is moving at faster than light speeds all over the planet. And then as you see here, Saitama is getting more serious. Saitama coughs out some blood. Garou coughs out blood. They're both hitting each other, etc. The hole you see is caused by Saitama and Garou. That hole is called a Buddha's Void, which contains countless... Red hair Helen Jeff, with all due respect, where are you getting that from? Because it never mentions... let me just ask a simple question. Where does it mention that in the actual chapter? Like in the actual chapter itself, where does it mention that this is the Helena's Void? When does it mention it's the Buddha's Void? Let's actually... what is that? When does it state that? Because if you're talking about the Buddha's Void constellation in real life, that's clearly not it. Because I could tell you it's not the actual Buddha's Void. Because if you're thinking like the Buddha's Void I'm thinking of, then no, not even. Not even. Not even. There's not... if they didn't state it, then there's no way to assume that. By that logic, that's like us assuming Yamamoto would have took out the whole universe because he can burn away the Soul Society. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like... oh, not even. There's even a better example than that. But like, I don't know where you got the term countless stars and galaxies from, because the actual Buddha's Void has a few galaxies according to official sources. So it wouldn't even have that many galaxies first and foremost. The second thing is, It's the diameter is 330 million light years, so it's about a couple hundred times bigger than the Hercules. But then another thing is, you have to ask yourself, how would they create a void and then go to Jupiter immediately? It doesn't add up. It's assuming too much. And when you look at and if you actually know about the Botis void, because fun fact, I took astrology class in college, so yeah. So, after taking astrology, the Botis void is actually separated very, very, very far away from the Virgo supercluster. The Virgo supercluster is a super giant cluster of multiple clusters within a cluster of our own with the galaxy, our Milky Ways in it. We're not even nowhere near close to the Botis void. So by interpretation, you're asserting that they punched so hard that they reached about 25 billion light years away in a second, destroyed the entire Botis void, and it's called the void because it doesn't have that many galaxies in it. They destroyed the entire Botis void and then came back all the way to Jupiter for some reason, where the fight presumed. If Murata or One left us some evidence, we'd be able to back it up. Now, just because it looks like Google images you may see on the Botis void doesn't mean it actually is the Botis void. Because you got to remember, we're still seeing Earth. Now, I'm not going to say Murata is the most accurate on drawing constellations in astrology, but if this was something of extreme claims require extreme evidence. Ask anyone in Yamamoto is destroying a universe. I don't care what anyone says, because Yamamoto is destroying the entire universe of the Soul Society, based on what we know. But Bleach has a little bit more indication than One Punch Man, because Unohara and Kenpachi fought in infinite space, because they said this is appropriate to fight at. Grimmy had entire galaxy-level creation, to where he couldn't even handle the power of Kenpachi. Later on, battles are getting to higher scale. So Bleach is very inconsistent in that category. It's very flonky, but at least it has statements that back it up. One Punch Man don't got anything like that. Onyx 677, yes, that is Blast's portal. Because if you look at the scan before it, when Boros and the others come, they light their hands up, then the attack comes, and then they deflect them and send them away. Because he says, I have to deflect the destructive energy from the Earth. Because that blast would have destroyed the Earth. So they deflect them away in the next panel. That's actually what you're seeing happening. They're getting sent flying away. The release in energy was the portal. So I don't think that Saitama, is anywhere. Not even I don't think. I'm pretty confident Saitama is not at that level. I don't think there's enough index in the story to support that. Cold and shivering. All right. Do not make insane claims without any evidence to back it. Well, I think the thing is, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That's how it's always been. So, you could always make a claim. You do whatever you want, bro. It's just, if you're going to make the claim, just make sure the evidence backs it up to where it's very supportive and very consistent. We ended up scaling Saitama because it just became a side conversation, but yeah. I just wanted to kind of clarify this. Hopefully someone clips this and they clarify it on somebody else who needs to hear it, because it's very clear that Saitama is not intended to be that strong. Even when he sees away Jupiter, it's why would Garu be afraid? What are you afraid of? If you could destroy countless galaxies, why would you be afraid of a punch from Jupiter? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's like if Mike Tyson in his prime was scared of Mike Tyson in his prime when he had a pet tiger when he was mean. That's like if Mike Tyson met that's like if Mike Tyson met, you know, I don't know, freaking Logan Paul when he was like a baby, a newborn baby. And he's like, that baby lifted a pacifier. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Now, that's all good, red hair. There's nothing, no hard feelings about it. There's nothing wrong with it. I know you're just telling us what you heard about, but it's not against you. It's just against the argumentation itself. I mean, it's the same thing why I say Goku can never be outerversal. Never. Goku can never be outerversal because outerversalism is the idea. When you're beyond the concept of space, you're beyond distance, length, and height. When you're beyond the concept of time, that means nothing can hold you down, temporality. Yet Goku still ages, so that's a heavy contradiction. Goku's best feats are still timed in some way, even when he bypasses general concepts of time. Because like Vado said, does that mean the hit's power, the concept of time doesn't mean anything to hit's power? Yes, hit's power. Hit still Jiren. Jiren still ages, but time doesn't mean nothing to his power. But that being said, I think there still needs to be a discrepancy that's really expressed to people, so they really understand, hey, Saitama, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't think Saitama is anywhere near at that level, like people say. So, with that being said, I think that people need to really kind of understand that Saitama is a character that we all want to be strong, but we have to have reason behind it. So, otherwise, I don't think Saitama is a character who is galaxy level right now. Who knows? Saitama might be universal and get to higher dimensions. But he hasn't gotten there yet, besides the fan comic. So until we get there, I think it's best to just keep things humble and keep things moderate. Hey, Thromaz, I get how you feel. Rather you acknowledge Dragon Ball Super or not, rather you like Dragon Ball Super or not, it is what it is. I agree with you, Dragon Ball Super was made a little too strong too early, but you know how it is. Alright. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, outside of that, I think that's pretty much my opinion on the fact of the matter. Let's see what times. Damn, they close. Oh well. Nah, it's just Goku isn't outerversal because there's too many concepts that come with outerversalism. Me and Roz will definitely go over that in the next stream. But like, bypassing cardinal numbers is not outerversal alone. Ordinal numbers need to be need to be counted too, because even though ordinal numbers are in ways of organization, like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the order, those are still factors in the cardinality and the bigger picture. Because whether it's aleph null, omega null, or epsilon, need to all be played as a factor. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Kevin Cubes. And I mean this in a very respectful, non-confrontational way. But most of the arguments presented in the videos that respectfully Drip uses, I respect the effort, but majority of it comes down to just blanket statements like, hey, Goku's universal. Why? No concept of time, no concept of space, and the afterlife is metaphysical. But it's weird because, you see, there's no concept of time for the afterlife, but we know the afterlife still follows time because King Yama needs to still sentence you. So because he's still sentencing you to a certain amount of time to spend in hell or somewhere, time still is abided by. And we know this because the Grand Priest and Zeno sit in a world beyond time, or beyond the multiverse, yet time still abides for them, because they're under the time ring. The time ring governs the entire multiverse, so they're still technically under a higher temporality, so they're still not universal by that pretext. So they can't be. So with that being said, you can't be universal with that. There's no way to be universal with that. You need way more information before you can be considered universal for that. The last but not least thing I really want to bring up, and really dig into the meat and bones of this particular argument, is universalism in this particular case for space. You got to think about it. If a 6-dimensional world has infinite 5D worlds in it, that's so much more bigger than people give it respect for. It's such a big gap. Like we factor in Goku 6D. If Luffy, Naruto, and Bleach, the whole verse, Hitman Reborn, all of them fought Goku. No matter how strong they are, they can't hurt him. Yuha's Almighty can't work. Even with the infinite multiverse statement. Can't work. He's 6D. And that's a low ball. But being 6-dimensional itself makes Goku so much stronger. They can't even interfere with him. They can't even interact. None of their attacks bother him at all. Even if he's in a 3D body. Durability negation, what we saw what the Hawkeye can do, so that doesn't work either. So none of that stuff actually can do anything to him. But people, some people they're not satisfied. They need that fix. It's like a drug. I need Goku to be as strong as possible. Because people focus too much on making Goku super strong to beat other characters rather than focusing on how strong are these other characters for real. Like Daizere, Reinhardt Heydrich, a lot of characters, the Taigyoku, Hajun. You know those characters, Hajun. Oh, these guys are universal. They're not universal. But everyone thinks they are. So, still my brother. But we'll have gentlemen like, Dwight. And we'll have other people come in and be like, well, guess what, bro? If they're universal, I could get Goku to universal. Using the same logic. So what they do is they fight fire with fire rather than finding out, hey, let's just put the fire out. See, they're like, we use illogical, irrational reasonings to put Daizere, Featherin, and Yumineko all at universal level. And so they're saying, all right, if y'all can use that type of logic, we'll do the same thing for Dragon Ball. That's the problem. You're stooping to their level. You don't need to make Goku universal to fight Featherin, to fight Hajun. You just need to find out how strong is Hajun for real. And when you find out that Taigoku only bypasses the first multiverse, and Taigoku levels don't infinitely transcend, they just give higher authority when you actually play the game, you realize, oh, Daizere is nowhere near that power. Not even close to that power. Not even close. You realize they're more in the low, very low to mid-complex multiverse levels. What about the 22 dimensions of Madara? Alright, that's a 22-dimensional barrier. Is it spatial? Or is it just hosting 22 different dimensions in another context? Without understanding the context of how the Taigoku works, there's too much room for it. Because the Taigoku is also vague like the Afterlife, where it doesn't have it bypasses all concepts, infinite concepts. But to what degree? You see, we get into a big rabbit hole. Funny, you said rabbit hole. It just keeps going down. So the idea is, no, Goku isn't universal, but Hajun isn't either. And based upon scaling both verses, Goku is stronger than Hajun based on power progression. So I would give the battle to Goku. I would say Goku will whoop Hajun. Kick rocks. Boom. Kick him right there. And I know it's disrespectful, but Goku, in base form, one punches Hajun right in his face. Bam! That's it. The battle's over. Goku didn't even need to use 0% of his strength because he's infinitely higher. So, now don't get me wrong. Daizere could find new information to be stronger, but I've told people this. All of my information on Daizere is based upon Quora versus Battle Wiki, my self-reading and self-study, and speaking with fans. Every fan I've spoken with has never provided evidence to show they're out-versal. They haven't. The Hado gods are not out-versal. They're definitely beyond multiversal. Infinite multiversal. And that's proven by the actual author. But we have no other evidence to say that they can go beyond cardinal numbers and beyond concepts of measurability. Because they're out-versal and they're beyond measurement, you know? Anyway. Math is not real. Math is physical. Show the concept of 2. You don't get wet in the word water. Math is not real. Ha! That's funny. The distance between outer and high hyper being is like of a subatomic particle to an omniverse. That's correct, don't ask. That's mind-boggling. Absolutely. Naruto is stronger than we thought. Immediately for a verse that doesn't have legit evidence. Yeah, it doesn't even fit the narrative. But again, don't ask. You just saw what I did on stream. And this is no disrespect. I'm not calling anyone in the viewers out. I love you guys, but I'm not calling anyone out. But you just saw it in the stream. I showed the stream how big a galaxy is. And when they saw how big a galaxy is, it was like, oh, god dang. Just like I showed on the nuke map. You saw how big a kiloton is. You saw how much damage half a kiloton can do. And you realize, god dang, maybe this is a lot stronger than I thought. Or maybe a galaxy is a lot bigger than I thought. When you actually sit down, relax, and analyze information, you start to realize how ridiculous it is. Like, when you factor in Chinjiao can headbutt a continent, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He can headbutt a continent and split it in half, even if it's an Arctic continent. Oh, but he only split it. Bro, it doesn't matter. You need the power of destroying an entire country to do something like that. Yet Chinjiao says, pop! And then characters like Luffy or Sai can do that. Luffy can knock him out in Gear Second. Luffy just bam! Get out of here, Sai. And every Gear Second Luffy, current Gear Second Luffy, every one of his punches are guaranteed stronger than the Sai his base form is guaranteed stronger than the Sai we saw. His Gear Second has been already proven 5 to 9 times improvement on his base. So even if I lowball, Luffy can just every one of those punches moving faster than light speed has the equivalent in force and power of a continent being split and more. So when you factor in that he has that much power, it starts to get ridiculous. And you start to realize, yeah, Naruto's not going to have an easy time with him. Because Naruto doesn't have that AP. Naruto's not going to go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now Naruto will be more like bop, bop, boom, bop, bink, bop, boom, bink, bink, boom, bink. Then he'll destroy a planet. But he ain't going to be like, all right, square up, Luffy. All right, hold up. All right, hold up, dog. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Naruto throws a punch. And that punch was strong. Naruto has enough power to blow away a mountain. And then here comes Luffy. Alright, dog. Bam! Whole continent is blown apart. You know what I'm saying? This is the difference in power is crazy. Naruto is stronger than Luffy in terms of his yield when he's using jutsu. Easily. But Luffy is stronger casually. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say when it comes to Naruto versus Luffy. Anyway. Agreed, don't ask. But anyway, guys, we're reaching about 2 hours in the stream. I'm glad I was able to have this stream today with you guys. Everyone, thank you guys for stopping by. This has been Atari HMB. We're going to be taking an ending to the stream. I'm extremely hungry. Need to eat. Make sure I get my body up to date. Get those muscles working. And yeah. That being said, oh, how strong is Atari? See, normally, if I could, I would arm curl both of these at the same time. But I don't know how to get the leverage. Nah, I'm playing. We'll talk later about tendon strength and how you can get strong without worrying about too much mass being built. Tendon strength. The power. Anyway. Yeah, red hair, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because if Luffy catches Naruto, straight up just be like, yo, alright, Naruto, hold on. If Naruto can't transform, because Luffy's faster than Naruto, Naruto gets popped with 5 advanced haki, because remember, it attacks internally. All these attacks are going to go inside Naruto's organs and body. All of these attacks, from base form Luffy, multi-continental attacks, faster than light. Bop, 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 bop. Naruto's gonna be like, oh, he's dead. He's knocked out. If Naruto starts the battle in Baryon mode, Naruto's eating them punches. He's like, come on, bro, I'm eating that. Eating that, bro. Let's go. Is that all you got, Luffy? Come on, come on, come on. Boom. Luffy's gonna need Gear 5. But, again, that's just like giving you guys, you know, a rough estimate of the idea. Anyway, guys, peace out. Yeah, if Kurama wakes him up, then Luffy's gonna be like, all right, Naruto, GG's. It was fun while lasting. Luffy's like, yup, fun while lasting. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for stopping by in the stream. I'll catch you guys next time. This is Atari HMB signing off. Gotta get me something to eat. Peace. Also, Vash, I'm sorry you came at the last minute, but peace out anyway. Thanks for stopping by.
Comida solos, comida solos.